Hello, everybody. It is Self-Care Sunday. How are we doing today, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, on this Self-Care Sunday, Jennifer is in first. I know that surprises all of you. Dawn is in there. Hey, Dawn. I'm going to get my feet up here. Hey, Kitty. Kelly. Good to have you with us. Dana. Said Dawn. I think I said Dawn at first. That shows my eyes from across the room versus right in front of me. Hey, Adele. Hey, Cindy. Barb Gallows with us. Good to have everybody joining in here on Self-Care Sunday. I hope everybody got a little bit of self-care. What is happening on this Sunday with y'all? Hey, Barb is with us. Did I say that already? Cassandra says I said that already, but now Cassandra says, hey, Barb. My Peanut Gallery says, hey, Barb. That's the kind of day I'm at. Which way is up? What do I remember today? Pat and the Peanut Gallery are here. Diane is with us. Great to have you all with us. It is good to have everybody here. What are we grateful for this Sunday? This Sunday Eve, Monday Preve. The day before Massachusetts allows stores to open. Michelle is with us. What should we, all of you that have come before us, what are you grateful for? And what's your piece of advice for those of us in Massachusetts that get to open tomorrow? Or Newfoundland gets to open tomorrow too. Hey, Sarah. Great to have you with us tonight. So tell us what we're grateful for on this Self-Care Sunday. Who baked today? Who did the blueberry lemon poke cake? And who did the, hang on, I'm going to get my name right. Hang on. The Betty Crocker Cookbook Carrot Cake. Blueberry lemon poke cake and Betty Crocker cookbook carrot cake. It's exciting, Michelle, isn't it? That we get to open tomorrow. It is exciting. I've been dealing with more staff anxiety today, and quite honestly, I can't fix all that. And that's okay. I'm okay with it. I'm sad about it a little bit, but I'm okay with it. Friends, I am ready. That's great, Diane. I'm glad you're opening to foot traffic. Hey, Dana and Jeff Johnson. Great to have you with us. Yeah, I mean, it is, I understand why. I mean, and a couple of my people that are high anxiety to begin with, I mean, they naturally have a lot of anxiety. And, the actual opening is okay. I mean, I can't fix that. Mental health is a tough thing right now, especially during the pandemic. But I can't fix all of that. I saw your pictures, Vina, of working in the yard with Art. That is great. I mean, it looked fabulous. We loaded we have some handiwork being done at the house. I think I mentioned that a couple days ago. Valerie, but she goes by Val, has been doing lots of stuff, and she has her dump truck here. Her big honkin', I mean, it's huge, dump truck, for scrap and things that she's going to take to the dump, because she's getting rid of a little bit of fencing and cleaning up some stuff. And I'm like, oh, can we? If you're going to the dump with all that, can we add? Oh, she's like, fill it up with, just do whatever. And we filled it today. We added a lot of stuff to go to the dump. So I'm not sure Val really believed how much we could add to that, but She's a hot ticket, and looking forward to her face when she sees that how full that truck is that she left. I couldn't believe how high off the ground it was. I had to get a step stool out to climb into it. Yeah, I get it, Michelle, and I got a few that just can't ever see themselves doing it, and they're moving. They're gonna go sit in a bubble, and I get it, and I understand it. I just can't. I still have a business to run. I didn't come this far to just go this far. So we've worked so hard to get to here and to get to this point that I can't let the fear of a couple stop us from opening. So I need to get those doors open, and I'm excited for it. It's going to cool down. Yeah, I heard from Angie in Nebraska. Angie today that was in the 90s there. And so, she said she was cooking hot dogs for dinner because it was too hot to cook anything else. Yeah, I don't have a green thumb. I mean, we cleaned out the shed. We cleaned out a lot of stuff this morning. We moved around the beds was really the biggest project where my back is sore today. I mean, we moved a lot of stuff, lifted a lot of things, but one of the things we did is we moved our adjustable bed to Nana. So we gave her the adjustable part of the bed, and we had to get that inside a 4-poster bed. So that was our big moving thing. And, I've done adjustable, well, let me phrase it. Used to move hospital beds all the time growing up because my father had the pharmacy and medical supplies, so we did hospital beds all the time. But this was I'm older. How's that? I'm older than the last time I lifted a hospital bed. So these our electric base and everything we gave to Nana, and we're gonna buy a new king bed. That's our gift to us. I'm glad you had a nice relaxing day, Kath. That's great to hear. Hey, Angela, great to have you with us tonight. I'm so excited for so many. There's so many good and positive things coming. So I am blessed by that. I've got a hectic week ahead, but I am so blessed by that. And I am super excited to hear what's going on in your guys' world, and watching what you guys did for Self-Care Sunday, the gardening, the taking time for yourself, having a relaxing day. We did, other than this, when we decided we should fill this truck. We have this opportunity to have a big dump truck here. We don't get that opportunity that often, and we should fill it with lots of stuff. So we did. I should take a picture. Maybe I'll take a picture of it later. And share it with you all so that you can see how much we filled this big honkin' dump truck with. And really, more than that, you should see Val, who is our handy woman, and how short she is. I mean, that's really a better picture, in that this is her big honkin' dump truck for her company, is really funny. What did you bake, Jennifer? Did you bake both of the challenges? I mean, it was your recipe for the blueberry lemon poke cake. So did you make the Betty Crocker carrot cake to make sure to see how it measured up to yours, or did you take on Julie's recipe challenge with the impossible chocolate chip cookies? What did you bake? But that is nice when you're able to bake with your child. That is a nice thing. Rebecca made a cake this morning. I don't know actually what it was, but it was we don't know where our bundt pan is. Our bundt pan has gone missing. It's at my... Rebecca took it to college, so it's not missing. It's at college. It's hers, but so we had a star cake today. And what kind of cake was it, Rebecca?
The cake was it was like a cinnamon swirl coffee cake.
A cinnamon swirl coffee cake was what it was.
In a Star of David pan.
In a Star of David pan. So there you go. Homemade pot pies and apple turnovers. Ooh, apple turnovers. That sounds good. I will take one a la mode, please. Apple turnover a la mode sounds like it would go perfect with my martini. That blueberry poke cake does sound really good. We did not make that yet, but I have the recipe. I have it not only printed out, but I have it saved in our recipe file on the computer so that I have that, because I know if you make it, it's one of your recipes, Jennifer. It's got to be good. So I am looking forward to that at a future time. And by no means, by no means call me a baker. Call me the dishwasher, but don't call me the baker. Although my grandmother and grandfather were bakers, they had a bakery on Broadway in Schenectady, New York. I'd like to see the lights on Broadway. Okay. We start every day and night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. That is how we really get this program going, the Good Morning, Good Night book. This is a good one. I like this. I like this page. You're going to love the graphic later. For those of you that stay to the end and get to see the graphic, okay? The good morning today is good morning. Bring it in. Group hug. Proceed. Okay. I mean, isn't that part of what we're all missing right now? Nebraska Angie's in the house with her hot dogs. Let's see what our quote of the day is from Vina. I like this too as Massachusetts goes to opening up tomorrow. Confidence is courage at ease. Boom. How about them apples? Bonnie dug ditches? I mean, Bonnie, I thought you're supposed to be headed towards retirement. Retirement isn't digging ditches. You can hire somebody, even in Oregon, for that. Even in Oregon, you can hire somebody to dig a ditch. It is that. Where are the pictures of you digging a ditch, Bonnie? That's what I want Park to send me. He doesn't have to send me scotch. Pictures of you digging a ditch. Was he drinking scotch while you were there digging ditches? That's what I want to know. Marianne is joining us. It was fun. I don't think I could ever say digging a ditch was fun. I mean, but neither was loading the dump truck. I'm going to have to post pictures of the dump truck later that we loaded and all the stuff we loaded it with. I think that'll give you all a kick, and it'll memorialize this. Marianne, you look good in that blue today. Saw you in that blue today. You looked fabulous in that. Amazing, even. Some of you getting into tonight's topics, besides ditch digging. I knew if I was digging a ditch, I'm digging my own grave. Cassandra, Rebecca, and Cheryl teamed up and decided that I should dig my own grave if I'm digging a ditch. Was Park right there beside you, Bonnie, digging ditches with you? That's what I want to know. Where was Park? You dressed yourself. That's great. You looked fabulous. I like the pants and the top. You looked fabulous. Mom would be proud there, Marianne. Mom would be proud of how you looked today. I thought you looked great. I dressed myself today. I didn't get any input today. Tomorrow's another story. The day that I opened your ribbon, Marianne, that I opened it on air, that I dressed myself, and I said I dressed myself, Cassandra corrected me and did say I picked out my outfit, but I checked it with her before I wore it. So he was mowing. Okay. you're digging ditches and he was mowing. What has this world come to? That's what, She looked good today too? Good. I'm blowing through this martini, guys, and I haven't even gotten to one piece of information here tonight, but I'm glad that everybody is doing well. I really am. I know I'll see the little Missy post later, so I know you'll post it later, and that'll be good. Somebody else, I forget who, was asking me if we had a Culver's, Marianne, and if I knew what a Culver's was. And I'm like, of course I know what a Culver's is. I've been to a Culver's and bought it and eaten at Culver's, and I know little Missy loves her Culver's. Some of you may remember that the first person charged with fraud in getting a PPP was from New England, Massachusetts. One of the parties to it is actually from Massachusetts. I know that's shocking that we would have a non-law-abiding citizen in Massachusetts, in the Commonwealth here. But him and his partner, Russ, is joining us, hopefully from the treadmill. Good evening, Russ. That gentleman who has been charged has now escaped his ankle bracelet, and he is on the run. One of the two men that was charged. David Stavely, who also goes by Kurt Stanborn, is considered a fugitive from justice since he cut off his ankle monitoring bracelet. So now this guy that was so stupid to get caught up in PPP fraud early on. I mean, we're going to hear a lot of fraud in the PPP and all these government programs in a couple of years from now, especially the PPP. But to get nailed for fraud, in the application process and get arrested and ankle monitored and everything, and then cut the ankle monitor off, you got no money. Where's this guy going? I don't know. We'll see. I have faith that he will turn up. Oh, that's great, Laurel. I love, watching how everyone is caring for you. I mean, quite honestly, I want to just come and sit next to you. I want to be right there with you. Oh, that's great, Ross. That is fabulous. That is. Did I not mention you can hire somebody to do this work? This is, while you do okay at it, it is not your core thing. And that's part of what we've actually talked about with our staff today. And people in their core skills. And so let me touch on that for a minute today, because now that Russ brought it to the forefront, that really is an important thing to talk about. There are a lot of people that have the skill set to know how to do something. Bonnie, for example, knows what a shovel is, and knows that you put it into the ground and you can lift things with it. Does that make Bonnie the best ditch digger? Okay. I know that a waiter at a restaurant asks you what you would like to eat, writes it down, enters it into a computer, goes in the back, gets a plate that matches that in theory, and brings it back to you at the table. That does not make me a good waiter. Okay, I have the underlying skills, the capacity to do things. I can lift a tray, or I'd probably carry it with two hands because I'm kind of clumsy. Okay, I can write things down, so I could have taken your order. Okay, I might not have asked you whether you want, something else with that, or a side or something. I probably would have tried to upsell you, okay, if there was an opportunity to. But that doesn't make me good at that, okay? And in a lot of businesses, what that happens, and in your stores where that happens, is the person that becomes a manager or supervisor. or team lead. Okay, they're good at the skill of doing something in your store. They're a great floor person. They're great at greeting customers. They're good at something. That doesn't make them a good leader. That doesn't make them a good manager. Okay, that doesn't make Russ a good doorknob installer. I mean, I can take you over here to a door that I thought I could install a new thing on our screen door, and I got the old one off. The new one's not on, and now my Val says I need a 42-inch door or something instead of a 36-inch. I don't know. Whatever she says that we need, it's an illusion of choice because it's already probably on order and it's already happening. These are things, this skill set, so focusing on someone's core skills, where they excel at, and putting them in a position of success is important. And now that Bonnie's taking up ditch digging, I guess she's really good at it, because I think Park's commenting on it now instead of Bonnie. So maybe Bonnie's a very good ditch digger. I won't even tell her that Park didn't want to pay her this week. That is neither here nor there. But you focus on your core skills, where your actual sweet spot is. What I actually like to call your superpower. Okay, when I meet with stores in person, and I'll be able to meet with you again, and I will be able to hug again. We will be able to have meetings again. We'll be able to have martinis in person martinis, I'm telling you, and scotch. But until that, one of the things we talk about as we work through what your human capital is we talk about people's superpower. Where do they excel? Where do they add value to your team? Okay, and putting them in that right seat on the bus so they can wear their cape all the time. I mean, like, fly out that cape, whoo, take off and be... Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Park. I didn't mean to get you in trouble there. But, I mean, put on your cape. Put on your cape and just take off with your superpower. What is your superpower? And Bonnie has many superpowers that are not ditch digging. She may be competent at ditch digging, and if she ever finds herself on a prison chain gang, okay, that would be fine. I mean, I did consult with people this week on making sure their question was what are we doing, this that we're doing with the SBA, is that going to put us in jail? And I'm like, no, that particular thing is not going to put you in jail. So, it's okay. See, that's what you get, Park, for using your Bonnie's login. We need to get you your own login. We need to make you an associate member of this association, Park. Okay? And we can do that at conference, because at Resale Reunites, the virtual conference that NARTS is having, the secondary people that join and come to the virtual conference are only $99. First person, $199 from the company. Second, $99. Great deal. And we add you as an associate member, Park, and then I won't be confused of who I'm talking to, whether I'm talking to Bonnie or Park. But just knowing your team's superpowers, knowing what your individual members can focus on, is very, very important, because that is where they add the most to the team, to the whole company. That's where they add the most value. Okay, that doesn't mean you shouldn't ever let them explore other things or go beyond, but you should focus them in, because that is where they get their most enjoyment. That is where they truly excel, and that is the highest payback for your company. So that is just something to keep in mind, and we have several good examples of it here today. Bonnie the ditch digger, Russ the door lock changer. I want to know if anybody called the cops on you, Russ. There's this guy breaking in, and he doesn't even have a tan. Everybody in Florida is tan. There's this really white guy breaking into Oh my God, that is just classic. Is that why you haven't responded to my email today, Russ? Because you were stuck outside? Facebook, our friends at Facebook who are always changing things, including the way that I have to go live now. We've had problems with that this week, but I have a new screen when I'm doing it from my Microsoft Surface, or I'm doing it basically from a computer, because this is a Windows 10 computer that I'm using versus my phone. It has a whole new live section, and that's completely different. It's part of their publisher suite, I believe. But that's not the option I'm talking about. Facebook adds the option to send marketing emails via Pages app. Several users of the Facebook Pages app have reported seeing a new function appear over the weekend, which prompts them to send customized marketing emails via their Facebook page. Pages first need to confirm their Pages email address. Once confirmed, page managers then need to manually add email contacts to their database. In this process, page managers are also asked to confirm that any contacts they do add have given them permission to contact them with promotional messages via email. Once you agree to Facebook's usage terms, you can create email campaigns via the Pages app with a preview of your subject line and content in the lower section, making it easy to extend email outreach to your Facebook clients. It essentially seeks to replace customer relationship management systems with all of your marketing message, including Facebook and Instagram ads and promotional emails coming from your Facebook Business Hub. The Hub! As of this time, you still have to provide the base data and emails, but it's expected that a future thing will send it via email to those users. So that is kind of interesting. Hey, Nancy! And Trisha joining us tonight. Great to have you both with us. What do I got? That was that. That was that. We had the opportunity to talk about Resale Reunites. And I guess, again, the other key reminder here before we head to dinner is the changes to the PPP. So it extended the covered period from 8 weeks to 24 weeks or until December 31st. 24 weeks or December 31st, whichever is earlier. A lot of you that got it in April will fall into October, November. It removes the limit on loan forgiveness that we're unable to rehire employees, hire new employees, or return to the same level of business activity as before the virus. It expanded the cap, so you only have to spend 60% on payroll, and then the other 40% can be used on mortgages, mortgage interest, and utilities, and rent. The key to that, again, is I say leave yourself a buffer. Spend at least 65% on payroll. Okay? Because there are things that aren't included in payroll that people typically count as payroll, such as federal taxes and such. So make sure you give yourself that buffer in the percentage. You also get to take the ability to defer payroll taxes. Federal payroll taxes you can defer. Now, I'm not encouraging, this gets into a slippery slope, so it's always something to be careful with that, because the deferral of payroll taxes is a good thing from a cash flow perspective in the short run, but half of any taxes you defer of 2020 payroll taxes, federal payroll taxes, half of it has to be paid in 2021 and the other half in 2022. So you don't want to get behind on that because it's the one government agency that works on time. The other key point with the percentages is, unlike the original rule, okay, where there was partial forgiveness if you didn't meet the percentage of payroll, in the updated version, there is no partial forgiveness. So if you do not spend at least 60% on payroll, there will be 0% forgiveness. Zero. You spend 59% on payroll. That's again why I say spend 65. Okay, because if your math is just off a little bit off, okay, and that's okay. I mean, we can't all be perfect ditch diggers and mathematicians. It's okay. Okay, but if you're off just a little bit, we don't want you to be off. We don't want you to fall below and then end out not getting it forgiven. So that is why that is so important. Glasses off. If it's unforgiven, the term has gone from 2 years to 5 years at the 1% interest, and you have from up to 10 months of the last day of the covered period to apply for forgiveness. So you do have a little bit more time on that. I don't want to be the first one in for forgiveness. There's just too much that everybody's figuring out, so I don't want to be the test case for that. But I want to be in when they slightly think they have it figured out, because I want to be in there when they have that, is when I want to apply for forgiveness. So probably I would say a month from now or so would be for those on the early side that want to apply for forgiveness, would be a good time to apply for forgiveness. I would not want to be the first example in. But I also don't want to be the last one applying for it. So those are key factors there to keep in mind in applying for forgiveness. And we'll have more on it. I've got a couple of SBA meetings this week that I will be attending, and I will have good feedback. I think we're going to have a lot of operational issues. The other thing, again, that has not been clarified, that was specifically spelled out in the regulations originally, is that owners are limited to 8 weeks of 2019 income during this. Owners or shareholders, 8 weeks of 2019 income. And it has not been specified whether that would be allowed to extend, beyond that, now that you have more time to use the money. So until it is changed, I would say that 8 weeks may be all that you get. That's not saying don't pay somebody, but that is saying that you should know that the PPP may not cover that. That's the other big unknown right now today, but I hope to have that clarified and a firm answer on that this week. So, and I will keep you all informed, because all the resources I post here, even on Self-Care Sunday, all the resources I post here are posted here in the NARTS private Facebook group first to all the members of the association, and then they're posted over to narts.org/resalestrong the next day by noon. By noon they're there. All the files that I talk about, including these videos. These videos are there too, and you can share them with everybody. Share them with anybody that you know, a ditch digger, a door lock installer, a locksmith. I haven't talked to a locksmith. I should check with Curtis and see how he's doing. I do have a locksmith. But it's posted for all. These resources are for everyone to have, because we want to get every business, regardless of what they are. We're going to get our industry all there, but we're going to get every other business we can get there to the other side as well. It's just too important to get all of small business to the other side. And we will do it. When you have a question that you don't know the answer to, that's beyond what we can cover here, that's too specific or something else, you just email me. Email Neil, Neil at narts. No, whoa, where am I going there? Neil at ECIstores.com. Neil at ECIstores.com is where you email me. And make sure you include your phone number, because most questions require a callback. Do you think, hang on a second. I am not convinced there'll be rent abatement. I'm not convinced, Kelly, that the United States will get their act together and do rent abatement. What I do think will happen is I think you will have some states be smart enough to offer it in some form or fashion. And And I think you're going to have states that were hard hit and closed the longest try to do something. I don't know what that something's going to be. Also, a lot of competing bills. As we head into summer and we head into politics season, there's a lot of competing bills because the states can't print money like the federal government can. And there's a lot of issues there as the states are seeing their coffers run dry with the costs of all this. As they come out of this, as the states reopen their doors, they are seeing and dealing with that, and there is a lot of pressure on them to figure out how to fill those back up. And they are coming up with some crazy proposals. Massachusetts, for example, a proposal that is on the table that the legislature is trying to push forward is what they call accelerated tax collection and accelerated sales tax collection, so that you remit sales tax daily, as an example, is something that states are putting forward. And ultimately that becomes a one-time grab. 1 month you collect ahead, but you don't really collect ahead. So it's trying to educate them on some of these not well thought out proposals. Right. A lot of these states were broke before. They're more broke now. And the federal government, the future legislation is going to center around states and providing aid to the states if they can get out of their own way. Things are going to get, you're talking the next bill, the next most likely bill, okay, which may be around $1 trillion or so, is pegging for the end of July. Okay, and that's today. Okay, that's not with stupid things that happen between now and today. And stupid from a political standpoint. Stupid, we've had so many real life things happen, and in many parts of the country, the outcry over George Floyd is putting COVID to the back seat, and it should. But so you have all these competing things for time, energy, money, and resources that states and communities are having to deal with. There's just not, and the U.S. really botched this versus especially when you look at the way Canada dealt with it versus the United States. Canada was just amazing in how they dealt with it. Absolutely amazing in the way that they approached it, the simplicity that they made to the process. Yes, there'll still be fraud with Canada's system, but it was clean, it was easy, and it helped all involved. It helped landlords, it helped businesses, it helped employees. It helped everybody get back on their feet and get started for something that was no one's fault. Okay, and so you're going to see different things happen in the United States that, is just a shame when you look at how simply our folks to the north handled it. So I don't see rent relief, and really the best deals that I've seen made have dealt with percentage of sales. So in talking with landlords and everything, that's been one of the things that's had the most appeal. Extending leases has had some appeal, for deferments and stuff, but they have mortgage covenants and everything else, and the Fed isn't backstopping that. It is going to be interesting as we head through summer, okay, because Congress is going to become impotent with politics of re-election and such. And you're going to start to see the real effects of things, because the CARES Act allowed, okay, one of the parts we don't really talk about on here is the CARES Act, has allowed and actually forced, many companies that held mortgages, traditional mortgages for homes and things, and banks did for credit cards, to offer deferments or forbearance or abatements. Okay, some of these deferrals were just straight, okay, we're throwing it at the end of your loan, you have 3 extra payments at the end, so instead of ending in 60 months, your loan ends in 63 months. If you think your of a car payment, or other mortgages and things. Other payments actually just said, because the CARES Act only said that banks had to allow for a delay of payment, they said, okay, you can defer 3 months, but in 3 months you owe 4 payments. So as these different things come due, it's going to be interesting to see where the American economy goes, and that may change the government's response to get something done. But there's a lot of diversity politically, and a huge divide, and instead of pointing fingers of who's a Republican and who's a Democrat, we should be talking about things that unite us and talk about us as Americans, and how we help Americans, how we help our fellow Americans, just like we do in our communities, just like we do with our stores, just like we do for the people that work for us. So when we have those types of conversations and we move those kinds of conversations forward, it becomes a different conversation. So I am hopeful in that, but Washington is going to be a very politically toxic season. So we'll see what happens with it. Thanks for joining us, Valerie. Good to have you here even late. But we'll see where that all goes, folks. But you can find me here every night, live at 8 o'clock Eastern, and I'm sure on a Monday I will have lots of stuff for you. All this stuff goes over to narts.org/resalestrong, narts.org/resalestrong by noon the next day, including this video, which you can also get at this channel. You're not alone running this store on YouTube. We start every day and night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. If you were not here at the top of the program like Abe and Val weren't, our good morning today is good morning. Bring it in. Group hug. Okay, proceed. Our good night tonight was, good night, guys. One more group hug. Get some sleep. That is how we end the program tonight. I am Neil Abramson. You got a question for me? Email me. Yes, I am wicked behind. I know there are many of you that are waiting for a call, and you will get it. I promise that. I return everybody's call and get back to everyone. And I have room in my list. I'll add you. Don't worry about that I have other people on the list. I will add you. If you need something, just email me, neil@ecistores.com. Because more importantly than anything is that you know that you, but most importantly you, are not alone running this store. It's time for dinner, everybody. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow.